For my project this summer, we decided to examine in depth the question of perceptual inference, and in particular, we focused on how we can develop a framework for the efficient perceptual detection of key points associated by their surrounding edge information. In order to explain this problem more clearly, we must have an understanding of what perceptual inference is. One way to view it is in a hierarchy of vision levels. For example, we have low-level vision, which consists of the fundamental features on a more local level, such as edge detection and corner detection. Middle-level vision begins to aggregate these features into a more abstract representation, such as texture or shape. High-level vision further abstracts away from these mid-level representations and combines them into things such as object and scene recognition. For humans, the task of perceptual inference is quite effortless. We are very easily able to combine the features of low, middle, and high-level vision together to get a clear representation of what we are looking at. However, for a computer, this task isn't quite so simple. For the purposes of our study, we have cast the problem of key point detection into one of corner detection, in particular, the oriented corner points of roof footprints. Building roofs are a perfect candidate as they have well-defined edges around their structured corner points. Furthermore, in thinking about the oriented corner detection, this work integrates quite nicely into our ongoing research in the lab, which seeks to predict middle-level vision information such as the structure geometry and topology of rooftops. Thus, to examine this problem, we propose a convolutional neural network that we call the Oriented Corner Detector Network, or OCDNet. The architecture of this proposed network involves an encoder-decoder network with a shared VGG-style backbone and two independent decoder heads, one for the localization of corner points and another orientation descriptor head, which seeks to coarsely describe the orientation around those interest points. This coarse orientation refers to the area around each corner point, which we have subdivided into 16 equally sized ranges, any number of which may contain an edge. The input to the network is an image that has been pre-processed to create a 4D tensor that contains grayscale information, the local gradient magnitude and direction, as well as its edge features. The localization head returns a matrix where each cell contains the probability of the corresponding pixel being a point of interest. The output of the orientation head is a 16:1 vector for each pixel of the image that we use to represent the presence of an edge in any of the regions surrounding that corner. The output of each of these heads is then aggregated to create a final estimate of these oriented corners. And as for the loss function we use to train the network, we use a loss function that consists of the weighted sum of a cross-entropy loss that compares the location predictions, and a binary cross-entropy loss which compares the orientation predictions, each with their respective ground truth. To train the network, we generated thousands of samples and synthetic data that are meant to roughly simulate a top-down aerial view of buildings. These data samples have each been annotated with the locations of their corner points and their corresponding coarse regions. Shown here are a few of our results when testing on the synthetic dataset. Superimposed on some of the images we used to test are the predictions output by our network. The yellow crosshairs representing predicted corner locations, and the highlighted red wedges around the crosshair representing the predicted orientation regions. But as for a more quantitative analysis of our results, we evaluated the accuracy of our predictions with two different metrics. In order to measure the accuracy of corner detections, we measured whether or not a predicted corner point was found within a certain radius around the ground truth. For measuring the orientation regions, we checked the percentage of correctly labeled orientations between a ground truth point and its nearest predicted point. As we can see in the data, our network is able to localize the corner point extremely well within a margin of 2 pixels with a success rate of over 87%. And as we relax our margin of error, we see that we can quickly achieve almost 95% accuracy within only 3 pixels with diminishing returns thereafter. Our orientation accuracy, however, is substantially lower than our localization accuracy, but we still maintain an average 70% accuracy in correctly labeling each of the regions surrounding a corner point. Although we have some promising early results, we still have several ongoing experiments and trials to continue to improve this network. For example, we would like to keep training and testing on images with added noise, all of this leading up to the introduction of real data. We also want to build upon the orientation estimation and use the coarse labels as anchors for a coarse-defined regression approach for more precise orientation angle estimation. We would also like to explore other network architectures that do not rely on pre-processing each image explicitly and can learn these features that can help in orientation and localization. In the future, we hope to be able to create an end-to-end pipeline that can segment satellite images into separate building instances and then to detect the structured corners associated with each building, footprint, or rooftop. Through this process, we hope to be able to reconstruct the geometry of buildings and their rooftops, which has many applications in remote sensing,